Well, just for casual talk, wasn't that rain shower we had about 20 minutes ago something else? Holy crud.
Mary, you're live.
Okay, very good. All right, so I will go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the beginning of the Creswell Urban Renewal Urban Renewal Agency Budget Committee meeting for May 18th, 2020. Calling it to order. The first item on the agenda is to call the roll. So I will follow through one by one with the person that I call. Please log on with your microphone and state your name and that you are present. So I will start with Dave Strand.
Present.
Robert Jackson.
Present.
Very good. Philip Smith.
Present.
Christina Corsi.
No, I'm unmuted.
Is that Christina Corsi that I hear? Okay, I did not hear anything for Christina. Jonathan Riddle.
Jonathan Riddle, present.
Clark Kent.
Clark Kent, present.
Shaman Mickelson.
Shaman Michelson, present.
Okay. Alonzo Castillo. Counselor, sorry.
Counselor Castillo, present.
Counselor Prochu.
Councilor Prochi, present. Present.
Counselor McReynolds.
Counselor McReynolds, present.
Counselor Drago.
Counselor Drago, present.
Counselor Inman.
Counselor Inman, present.
Council President Knutson.
Counselor Knutson, present.
And Mayor Zettervall is present. I'll ask one more time. Christina Corsi, are you present? Okay, she is not on the line, so we'll apparently call her absent without excuse. Okay, so we do have a complete enough council to proceed. We have an agenda or a quorum. So the next item on the business order of business is item 2, which is the Budget Committee electing the chair and the vice chair. So we will start with the chair, and I will open the floor to a nomination for chair of the Urban Renewal Budget Committee meeting.
I nominate Amy.
Okay, was that you, Judy?
Yes.
Okay, the Councilor Drago nominates Councilor Knutson.
This is Clark Kent, and I second that proposal.
Okay, very good. Clark Kent seconds the motion. Is there any further nominations? Hearing none, I will call the nominations closed, and we will go ahead and call the vote. A motion has been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? I forgot to do that. Okay, hearing none, I will go ahead and call the roll, and I will start in the same order that I did the first time. So, Dave Strand.
Yes.
Robert Jackson.
Yes.
Christina Corsi, are you here yet? Okay, Jonathan Riddle.
Yes.
Clark Kent.
Yes.
Shaman Michelson.
Yes.
Counselor Castillo.
Counselor Castillo, yes.
Counselor Prochu.
Councilor Prochi, yes.
Counselor McReynolds.
Counselor McReynolds, yes.
Counselor Drago.
Counselor Drago, yes.
Counselor Inman.
Counselor Inman, yes.
Council President Knutson.
Counselor Knutson, yes.
And Mayor Zettervall is yes. So congratulations, Council President Knutson. You will be the chair of both the Urban Renewal and the Regular Budget Committee. So I will go ahead and follow through with the vice chair nominations. And I will open the floor for nominations for vice chair of the Urban Renewal Agency Committee. Hearing none, I will nominate Dave Strand.
I will second that.
Are there any further nominations? Hearing none, Mayor Zetterball calls the nominations to be closed, and we will go ahead and we will call the vote, just like we did on the last one. So Dave Strand,
I suppose so.
I suppose that sounds like a yes to me, so I appreciate that, sir. Robert Jackson,
Yes.
Philip Smith,
Yes.
Christina Corsi, are you present yet? Okay, hearing none, I will go ahead and move forward. Jonathan Riddle,
Yes.
Clark Kent,
Yes.
Shaman Michelson,
Yes.
and that moves us over to Councilor Costilla,
Counselor Costilla, yes.
Councilor Prochu,
Counselor Prochu votes yes.
Councilor McReynolds,
Counselor McReynolds votes yes.
Councilor Drago,
Counselor Drago, yes.
Councilor Inman,
Counselor Inman, yes.
Council President Knudsen,
Counselor Knudsen, yes.
okay, and Mayor Zetterball also votes yes. So that gives us a chair and a vice chair for this meeting. So I will now turn the floor over to Council President Knudsen, our chair.
Thank you, Mayor. So it looks like we move on to approving the Urban Renewal Agency meeting minutes. Is there any comment, questions, things that need to be pulled? Nothing? Going once, going twice? I'm entertaining a motion.
I will make the motion. Counselor Prochu makes the motion to approve the minutes from the Urban Renewal Agency as presented.
I hear a motion. Is there a second?
I second that.
second.
It's only been
I
three
don't
of them.
know who was first, but I'll say Misty. All right, now we take a vote. I will go through the list here. Dave Strand,
Yes.
Robert Jackson,
Yes.
Philip Smith,
Yes.
Christina Corsi. Still absent, Jonathan Riddle,
Yes.
Clark Kent,
Clark Kent, yes.
Shaman Michelson,
Shaman Michelson, yes.
Counselor Castilla,
Counselor Costilla, yes.
Counselor Prochu,
Counselor Prochu votes yes.
Counselor McReynolds Jr.,
Counselor McReynolds Jr. votes yes.
Counselor Drago,
Counselor Drago, yes.
Counselor Inman,
Counselor Inman, yes.
Counselor Knudsen votes yes, and Mayor Zetterval.
Votes yes also.
All right, motion passes and the minutes are approved. On to receiving public comment on the proposed budget. If there is any, has anybody submitted any comments, or is anybody at City Hall to give comment?
No, no one has.
All right, seeing none, we move on to number 6, discussion of the, so this is discussion of the Urban Renewal Agency, just to make it clear for everybody.
Sure.
Manager Amberg, you unmuted and then you muted.
Okay, we have to do number 5, which is receive the budget message.
Oh, sorry. I skipped you, Jim. Receive budget message.
Thank you, Chair Knudsen. Budget Committee, I'll read this letter to you. This budget message begins with Honorable Chairperson, Budget Committee members, and citizens of Creswell. The budget presented herein is the proposed budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2020 and ending June 30, 2021. The Creswell Urban Renewal Agency is the only urban renewal district in place in the city of Creswell. It is overseen by the members of the City Council. The Creswell Urban Renewal Agency was enacted through ordinance of the City Council in August of 2018 with the objectives of eliminating blight and its influences, revitalizing Creswell through attracting new private investment, and enhancing the existing private and public investment in the area. Urban renewal districts are one of the most utilized economic development tools in Oregon. As a tax increment finance tool, urban renewal can be hard to understand. However, the core concept of urban renewal is simple. Urban renewal takes a small portion of the appreciated value of property in a given area and invests it in projects that are expected to increase the overall value of the district over time, eliminate blight, and stimulate investment. Oregon's experience with urban renewal suggests that strategy has been generally successful around the state. Strategic investment in key public infrastructure projects is a traditional role for the urban renewal funds. The investments in these projects is meant to remove barriers for development or spur the economy to that, so that blight is removed and private investment will follow. The proposed budget for fiscal year 2020-2021 reflects the beginning of collecting tax increment and funding preliminary engineering of future projects. We look forward to the new fiscal year to carefully consider future projects, how to best leverage funding, borrowing capacity, and creative ways to partner with our community organizations in the advancement of Creswell's industrial and commercial lands. Respectfully submitted by myself and Manager Hamburg.
All right, we've received the message. Are there any comments, questions? Hearing none, I'm moving on. Oh, yes. State your name when you
Yeah,
join.
this is when we ask any, this is Dave Schramm. Is this when we ask any questions we have about the budget, or is that a later time?
I believe that's a later time. I believe this is just for the Urban Renewal Agency.
That's the budget I'm speaking about.
Yes, the Urban Renewal Agency budget.
Yes, Chair
So
Knudsen.
the only question I have is on page, well, it's not a page, it's on this page. For the actual budget presented. The budget for last year was 4526, but none was received. So my question was, why was there none received? And then how do we make an anticipation for this coming year?
Very good question. In fiscal year 1920, we received a letter from Lake County Assessor's Office discussing that they reset the frozen base on the property value. So this is kind of where we start, and anything that's appreciated past that is what the incremental tax dollars are figured on. Unfortunately, the Assessor's Office stated that they found that some of the properties weren't appropriate to be valued under urban renewal and removed those properties. It did lower the base. That base now calculated with the tax rates is how we came up with the figure for next year's increment. And we based that increment on a very conservative 1% appreciation, because there are some properties that are appreciating due to the blight in that district, rather than the full 3%. So it's a pretty conservative number. We should see an actual property taxes come in this fiscal year. Unfortunately, last fiscal year, the frozen base was just reset.
So a follow-up question, this is Dave again. So didn't you say that there were some properties that were removed that we won't be receiving increment financing from, and will that have an impact on us long-term? Are those significant properties?
No, those aren't significant properties. They were I forget the exact wording, Dave, but I believe they used the word mobile buildings. I'd have to go back and look at that letter from the assessor's office. It did nothing more than really just reset the floor, if you may, the frozen value of that district. And we should see increases, especially as we have investments in that district. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
All right, are there any other questions or comments from anybody else? Speak now or forever hold your peace until next time. All right, I am entertaining a motion to approve the Urban Renewal Agency budget. Please state your name first. Mayor Zetterval?
I move to approve the budget for the Creswell Urban Renewal Agency for 2020 fiscal year as presented.
There's a motion. Is there a second? Thank
Counselor
Councilor
Castillo,
Castillo. All
I
right,
second.
Councilor Castillo seconds. Any other discussion? We shall proceed to vote, and I'll just go through the list. Dave Stram,
Yes.
Robert Jackson,
Yes.
Philip Smith,
Yes.
Christina Corsi.
Yes.
Oh, so Christina has joined us, so please make note. Thank you for joining. Jonathan Riddle,
Yes.
Clark Kent,
Clark Kent, yes.
Shaman Michelson,
Shaman Michelson, yes.
Councilor Castillo,
Counselor Castillo, yes.
Councilor Prochu,
Councilor Prochu votes yes.
Councilor McReynolds Jr.,
Counselor McReynolds Jr. votes yes.
Councilor Drago,
Counselor Drago, yes.
Councilor Inman,
Counselor Inman, yes.
Councilor Knudsen votes yes. Mayor Zetterval.
Mayor Zetterval votes yes.
All right, motion passes. Now I guess we have to approve the taxes for 2020-2021 fiscal year. Jim, do you want to give any update or anything on that?
It's just a motion to approve the maximum amount of funds under the division of taxes. So any of the amounts that will appreciate over the prior fiscal year.
All right, is there any discussion? Then I'm entertaining a motion. Motion, can I get a motion?
I'll do a motion.
I think Councilor Drago spoke first, so I'll let her take it.
Perfect.
All right. I move to approve the taxes for 2020-21 fiscal year.
Do we need to say the whole thing, Jim?
Yes.
Okay. So Judy, did you get your agenda? Because it says at the rate of
That's
$2.6705.
Oh, mine doesn't have that one on there.
no,
Oh, okay.
that's for the city budget. Sorry.
Oh, that's for the other one. Sorry. I'm looking at two
And-
separate here.
I move to approve collections of the maximum amount of funds from Division of Taxes under Section 1C, Article 9 of the Oregon Constitution in accordance with the approval of Creswell Urban Renewal Agency Plan and as provided in ORS 457-4201 to be certified by the tax assessor.
All right, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Mayor Zetterval seconds.
All right. If there's no other questions or discussion, we'll proceed to vote. Dave Stram, Robert Jackson,
Yes.
Philip Smith,
Yes.
Christina Corsi,
Christine says yes.
Jonathan Riddle,
Jonathan Riddle, yes.
Clark Kent,
Clark Kent, yes.
Shaman Michelson,
Shaman Michelson, yes.
thank you. Counselor Castilla,
Counselor Costilla, yes.
Counselor Prochu,
Councilor Prochu votes yes.
Counselor McReynolds Jr.,
Counselor McReynolds Jr. votes yes.
Counselor Drago,
Counselor Drago, yes.
Counselor Inman,
Edmund, yes.
Counselor Knudsen, yes, and Mayor Zetterval.
Mayor Zetterval, yes.
Motion passes unanimously. And I believe that concludes our Urban Renewal Agency budget meeting. I will knock on my table to adjourn.
Thank you, Chair.
So as Mr. Piper mentioned to me earlier, everyone, he needs to stop this feed on the YouTube and then begin another feed. So there'll be a brief intermission until Mr. Piper gives us the cue to start the next. Hello, kitty.
Do we have intermission? We need intermission music.
I know, get the cat in the fur.
You don't want to hear my cats fighting and trying to knock over my laptop?
Let's not. It's pretty funny though.
Go.
I think Alonzo should pick up the computer and show us that view out those big windows behind it.